Good to see you. A really important question today. Should I pay off my mortgage before I retire? A lot of us want to go into retirement debt free, but it's not just a financial, but also an emotional decision. So before you pay off the debt, there are a few considerations before you do anything. And the first is your mortgage rate.
Right. We had a couple of years during the, post pandemic where the mortgage rates just dropped. I mean, they were
Right.
almost nothing. Right. And that really led to a big housing boom, which is great. A lot of people are now sitting on those really low rates, which is terrific. This may a little off topic. This may lead to a little slowdown in the housing market, though, because people can't afford to move anymore and
Right.
take on a higher rate. But with regards to the mortgage, if you're sitting at that low rate and you're inclined to pay off your mortgage, which, by the way, is a big decision. I do like to see people going into retirement with no mortgage if they can possibly do it. The reason being is if you have this mortgage obligation and you see a decline in the markets, you still have to pay that mortgage. But if your portfolio, let's say your IRA went from $500,000 to $400,000, your mortgage payments stayed the same. You're taking a larger percentage now out of that savings, which could have a very negative effect on your on those levels. So I do like to see people go in debt free or mortgage free into retirement, but there's a lot of considerations one has to take when they're deciding whether or not they want to pay off that mortgage.
Right.
The first is, can you afford it? Do not take money out of your IRA to pay off the mortgage. I don't think you're going to be paying taxes all up front on every bit you take out of your 401k or your IRA. If you're under 59 and a half, you're going to pay the taxes and a 10% penalty. So it's really not worth it. If you can afford it, I would do it. But I don't think I'd be diving into my retirement savings.
Yeah. Can't get a loan for retirement. That makes sense.
That's right.
So next I want to talk about the tax consequences. You touched on a little bit
Yeah.
of either paying off your mortgage or you've just kind of said, hey, don't use money from your retirement accounts. But what else do we need to know about those tax consequences?
Well, just understand that you have that penalty. And then the tax consequence is this. If you take, let's say, $100,000 out, you're going to add $100,000 to your 1040 at the end of the year. So if you made $100,000, all of a sudden you're going to be reporting a $200,000 income on your 1040. So you're going to bump yourself up into a higher tax bracket, and you're going to be paying more money than you would have otherwise. So you really have to work with your accountant and understand exactly what those issues might be.
All right. As interest rates climb, that will make paying down certain debt more expensive. So how do we prioritize paying down debt?
So absolutely. So if you look at paying down debt, there's multiple types of debt we have. We have our mortgage, which is secured by the home, right? You may have a car payment, and that's secured by the value of the car. You could get repossessed if you don't make those payments. But most of us have a lot of credit card debt. That's just revolving debt that's unsecured. And because it's unsecured, it's at a very high rate. I mean, we're talking double digits, even high teens, even to the 20s. So
Right.
if you're looking at trying to pay down your debt and you've got a mortgage and you've got car payments and you've got credit card payments, I would certainly focus on the credit cards first. Pay down as aggressively as possible those high interest unsecured debts. So focus on those credit cards. From there, I would then look at paying off the cars. Those are typically shorter. It's a smaller value. It's typically the next highest or the next lowest rate. And then once you have those things satisfied, then go after that mortgage, which is going to be sitting at the lowest rate. And if you feel like you want to pay that off because it might help you sleep better, and a lot of that has to do with this, Erin. If your gut tells you it's the right thing to do, it's usually the right thing to do. Then go ahead and pay off that mortgage.
Yeah,
Of
that's
course, the
clutch,
flip
right?
side
It's
is
not,
right. The economic side of this says, well, if you
yes.
instead of paying off the mortgage, you can invest that in the markets and make 7 or 8%. Yes, that's true. The markets don't make 7 or 8% every year. Sometimes they lose 10, 20, 30, 40. So you have to be willing to withstand that risk. And for some people, they're uncomfortable with that. And if that's the case, pay off the mortgage.
Yeah, that's why I love talking to you, Sean. It's so much more than spreadsheets. That makes perfect sense. Last question, though. So let's say that we have paid down that high interest debt. Then do you focus on your mortgage, or are we prioritizing other savings instead?
No, actually, I would definitely, pay off that mortgage if you can. To the extent you can still put money into savings, that's always a good thing to do. So strike that balance between paying down that mortgage and continuing to save. You don't have a lifetime Well, you do have a lifetime to save, but you really want to be saving while you're still making income,
Mhm.
and pulling a salary. So the extent you can split that, put some money into savings, try to pay down the mortgage quicker, I think is a good thing for most people.
All right. Someone's calling you right now to know if they should pay off that mortgage, Sean. So you're gonna have to
I
answer the
apologize
question.
for that.
Yeah. So if somebody does want to crunch these numbers with you, though, but again, it warrants a conversation about everybody's unique financial goals and how they're sleeping at night. What's the best way to reach you?
So Aaron, you hit the nail on the head though, right? It's there's no one answer for
Yeah.
everybody. We talk in generalizations sometimes, but every decision is unique to every individual, and that's where we try to help everybody.
Right.
And if you do have concerns, you want to learn more, just call us at 603-715-2335. You can go to our website. We have a lot of information there on some of the topics we discuss. You can also book some time directly on my calendar. It's daviswealthmgmt.com. Click contact us and you'll be brought right to my calendar.
All right. Sean, thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.